So, Nano Banana is here. Nano Banana is Google's new image editing and image generation system built into Gemini 3. Since about 2022, when I kind of got started into this AI journey, one thing that has always been something that has been a pain point in almost every AI creator has been the inability to have consistent characters in our images. You know, you could create so many different images, but none of it like pieces together. None of it like you could really tell a story, with the same person, with the same facial features, with the same person, just any of those things. So when Nano Banana dropped, and that's version one, that changed everything. And since then, I've seen, Facebook groups, YouTube channels, Instagrams, where you can actually have the same face in almost every image that you create. Sometimes it doesn't always it's not perfect, for example, but it's the most perfect thing that you can have. And I think it's just a game changer. They've released a new version for it. So it's just that much better. And I think that's like really fantastic. But I took a couple notes and I want to kind of just get through them and I'll tell you why this matters. Most AI models remix you into something else, changes your face. Nano Banana keeps you looking like you. So if I upload an image of myself and I want to change this background, then it's going to be an uploaded image of myself with the background changed. This matters for thumbnails, branding, fashion modeling, and anything where identity, consistency makes the design feel real. I just created a thumbnail today, actually, for a YouTube video, and it kept my face. It kept the consistency. I think I saw some stuff on like Twitter as well, X, that it's like this guy, he uploaded a photo, like a selfie, and then had like celebrities like all around him, you know. I think, obviously we see pictures of like the Tupac and the Michael Jackson and, in different like image, edits or whatever. And I think it's just like fantastic that, we finally gotten to this level, So let's keep it moving. Real use cases. Changing backgrounds. You can upload one picture and drop yourself anywhere: studio, rooftop, street, office, luxury apartment, and it blends lighting so it looks legit. Like I stated before, the AI photo shoot groups that are on social media right now are insane. I believe that right there is a career path in itself, is doing photo shoots for people. Just give them a couple images and bam, they could take your likeness and be able to upload it in a whole new surround setting. For example, let's say you take a picture or a person sends you a picture or you download it off of Facebook, and they want a picture of, let's say they have a new a birthday. Well, you can, use their image and then you could prompt the scene around it to, have them be in Paris, have them be in, in a studio setting with like a pink background or a gray background, blue background with like the number of how old they are, when people do the balloons and stuff like that, or the, with their age and stuff like that. So that's all things you can just prompt, I've seen like a lot of posts talking about, oh, this is the end of photographers. It's not. It's just going to give people a way to be able to kind of be creative themselves. And I think it's dope. I think it's dope for me, even as a photographer, because, I have my own studio here. I could take pictures of people, high quality, high resolution photos, and I can repurpose those pictures for other use cases, so I can take headshots of a person and then have them appear like they're freaking dunking a basketball. You know what I mean? Like, that's so dope to me. I think that just expands your creativity. And, for all intents and purposes, maybe we could have done this in Photoshop, but that would have took hours. Now it could happen in a matter of minutes. And I am embracing all of that. Okay. Let's move forward. Fashion and outfit swaps. You can test outfits instantly, street streetwear, formal, runway, editorial, even futuristic styles, all with the same pose and face. So just imagine, you have a friend and they have a brand and they may not have the money, all the money in the world to be able to schedule photo shoots and all those different things. Now you can take the image of a shirt or take an image of a hat or some sneakers, and you can place it on whatever model you want. You can place it on models that of people you already know. You can create AI models yourself, and now that can be your advertising material. You can turn those images into video, so now you can really adhere to like video reels and TikToks and make really fast paced images. I think it's dope. And more than anything, the character consistency remains consistent. One thing about AI image generators is they would never get the text right. And I've tried Google Nano Banana a few times. It's not always perfect. But you can get it there. It's literally the most perfect system that we have, and to be able to kind of swap those things out and actually be able to use it, I think is fantastic. I think we're just getting closer and closer. Turning cheap iPhone photos into high-end shots. Nano Banana understands low quality lighting and rebuilds the image like you shot it in a real studio. So that's a part of the AI generation is, let's say I'm underexposed or I overexposed it. So it'll generate the lighting that is supposed to be there. So, I always say shoot high quality, but this at least gives you a chance to be like, hey, front facing screen of my iPhone, I could take a couple shots and I could create something really amazing and dynamic inside once I upload those photos inside Google Gemini. All right. Icons, thumbnails, and branding. You can create consistent thumbnails, cartoon versions of yourself, mascot versions, animated styles, but the model keeps your face locked in. Again, keeping character consistency has always been a thing in image generation. And I think now, like we have AI short films, So this right here, I think makes it that more stories can be character driven, especially if it's the same character. A lot of times with the AI short films, I noticed that you'll have side angles or you have multiple different angles and they don't look exactly like the face that probably appeared in the first or second frame. It may be different. I think now you'll be able to get a little bit more consistent looks, especially if you model it off of your own face, because with your own face, you could get your side profile, you could get your front profile, top, bottom, all of those different things. I think that's just a fantastic thing. You can place products into scenes, create advertisement concepts, and generate polished mockups without renting gear or a studio. Again, this saves people a ton of money, especially with marketing agencies. A lot of times, like even me, I worked at a marketing agency, right? They didn't have a marketing budget to advertise a lot of things that they needed to be advertised. So like we were just lost. We were just lost to put like a blank screen and text, So with this, we can at least copy their materials off of their website and be able to create something really cool with those things, with those product ad mockups, and be able to keep character consistency, especially when it comes to text. Multi-image fusion, you can upload multiple images and tell it to merge its best elements, like your face from one image, outfit from another, and background from a third. So this is, again, just being creative. Your face from one photo, outfit from another website or photo, and your background. It's like the opportunity is endless, and I can't wait to like really just dive into that. Storyboards and concepts for art. If you're planning a video or photo shoot, you can have Nano Banana generate keyframes, lighting, ideas, angles, moods, and camera movements. So I really like that point there, is that you can plan your photo shoots or video shoots using AI, and this is where like actual real life creators that's going to be creating in person and AI can collaborate perfectly. Because if I'm trying to explain something to somebody or I'm pitching something to someone, I can just, it's hard. It's going to be harder for me to just like talk it out, and I'm not a sketch artist, and most people probably won't get my sketches anyway, more than they'll get images to be like, hey, the character is going to appear at the bottom right of the screen. And then the next scene, they're going to appear at the left part of the screen. And the next scene, they have their back towards the camera. To be able to visually see that storyboard is going to be way better than just talking to them and telling them or trying to sketch it out, and getting them to understand, even just down to the color scheme of it. Let's say it's like a blue, white, thing or whatever, it's like, hey, this is what I'm envisioning. This is what I plan to shoot. And now we're going to go ahead and shoot that. And I think that's where you have the AI and the artist that's going to actually go out there and shoot, collaborate. Identity locked characters. It can turn you into an anime character, Pixar, Fortnite style, but your features stay recognizable. So that goes again with character consistency, being able to tell stories and actually have a main character and allowing that character to not look different every single time. So that's fantastic. I love it. Real estate and business use. Upload a property photo and change decor, lighting, season, or show renovation concepts, perfect for investors or businesses. So I actually worked as a real estate photographer for 4 years. There's been times where I would take pictures in places that were just completely trashed, or it was just so empty that you couldn't really get an idea of what can actually be done in there. This changes that. This adds an interior design element to it. A lot of times the image that I've noticed in the past, it kind of changes the the image, a little bit, but I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see that, hey, maybe we can keep the actual image the same and then just add, let's say, furniture, and it looks good like it's supposed to look. So I'm excited for the world of just being able to take a photo, tell it exactly what I want it to do, and it can have a really good output. All right. So what's new in this new version of Nano Banana 2? Higher resolution. This version gives you up to 4K images, usable for ads, posters, thumbnails, and print. Better text rendering for flyers, posters, shirts, signs. Nano Banana can finally generate clean, readable text. I love that. Better lighting and shadow control. It understands how lighting actually works, so edits don't look flat or fake. That is very important. And keep in mind, because it's Google Gemini, you can actually get recommendations in regards to what type of lighting you should have in the image. It works still like ChatGPT, a Google, an assistant, so you can always just ask it questions to be able to get the better output, and then put those responses in it as well. Just select create images, and it'll do just that. So more accurate more accurate tones, deep, rich melanin tones render correctly without washing you out. I wonder if melanin tones mean my skin complexion. That'd be nice. That'd be beautiful. Local edits. You can now change one part of the image, like the t-shirt color, without changing everything else. It's fantastic. Something that we would have to bring into Photoshop to do in years past, but now we can do this here, and we can do it at a high quality. Improve consistency. The system holds onto your face and features across multiple prompts way better than before, which is fantastic because, like I stated before, it was always very good. Nano Banana was very good, but you can notice that, hey, you know what? This doesn't look exactly like me. Let me re-upload the photo and try it a couple times and try a couple different prompts to get it. So it's cool that it's improved. Why creators should care. Speed. It replaces multi-step Photoshop workflows with one prompt, just like with the one-click t-shirt change. We just prompt that, change the t-shirt as many times as we want. Consistency. Your audience sees the same you in all your visuals. That builds brand trust. I do that a lot with my thumbnails, my YouTube thumbnails. I try to create like an animated image that's like very like goofy, fun. But I use Nano Banana because it keeps the features of my face the same. And I love that. Versatility. One photo session becomes 20 different looks, 20 different looks, styles, and worlds. So you can upload one photo and say, hey, put me in the Grand Canyon, put me in Michigan, put me in this, and make it a fashion editorial shoot, and it'll do just that. Cost savings, no studio rental, lights, outfits, travel. You could create what you need instantly. So whether you are a marketing agency or you are a small business brand, you can create at will. It just depends on how you prompt it, what you prompt, and how creative you can be. And it'll save you a ton of money than to go shoot in a Grand Canyon, go shoot in Lake Michigan, have a coffee mug. If you have a coffee brand, and it could be in Canada somewhere in the middle of the snow. I live in Florida, so clearly, we're not going to be able to get that shot unless we actually go to Canada or, somewhere up north for that shot. Now it can be created in using the AI image tools at 4K resolution, and you can create a bunch of different environments just with those same images. So I think that's fantastic. How to use it effectively. Upload a clean photo, good lighting, clear face, give good grounded prompts, describe the place, mood, outfit, change one thing at a time for best results, save your styles you like and reuse them for consistency. This is if you want to upload your own images. These are some good tools. Again, you can always ask Google Gemini, like, what prompt should I give you, or can you give me a prompt rather for a photo shoot mimicking a Zara ad using my face, men's collection, summer, fall, spring, So Nano Banana isn't magic. It's a creative multiplier, which means you may have to talk to it a bunch of different times to be able to zone in on what you want. Don't expect it to be just one click and bam, it's done. Even with the models improve, but no matter how much time you put into it, if you're trying to take a fashion photo shoot and make it look like you're in Paris, that's whatever time you spend, it's going to be way better time spent than actually flying out there and spending the money to do it. You bring your ideas and it helps you actually execute them. So this is just my final thoughts on Nano Banana. This is just one of the many ways that AI is just the future. And I think it's about time that we really start asking a question: how can we make these tools make our life better? There's a lot of conversation and talks about AI and replacing people. If anything, I think it empowers people. I think it empowers businesses to be able to create advertising material for their businesses, or people that always wanted to do a photo shoot and wanted to not allow their budgets to necessarily dictate what they can and can't do. Allow, real estate companies to be like, hey, now, they already had like interior design where it would kind of like just put the stuff in there, but it was way difficult to do it. Now it can be actually done with just a few prompts, and I do think it still takes creativity in creating prompts, because what I'm telling you right now, I just came from a real estate event. Most of these people don't know anything about Nano Banana, or what it can be doing. They have an idea what AI is, but I feel like I would still be needed to create the vision that, or make their vision come to life. Be like, hey, I have an empty photo studio. I want to be able, or home. Can you furnish it with AI tools from IKEA? Can you furnish it with IT? Just do that. Something like that would be invaluable, because it's something that would save them so much money trying to get that furnished themselves. And that's where you come in. And that's where you come in, where you can actually make that money. So many different ways to do it. I'm excited about it, as you see. But yeah, so this is the podcast and my thoughts, and my clear, just raw thoughts. Just wanted to organize my my thoughts with this outline and all that good stuff, and just give you what I think. So yeah, till next time, y'all. Peace.